tell you now just who they are. Listen to their stories and how they tell when they join and how they're doing so well. Telling us what it's all about today and how they are loving that OnPassive way. OnPassive, here today OnPassive, no better way. Listen to the Julie and the Milo show, so then you can be the very first to know. OnPassive, it's here today. Julie and Milo show is coming your way. OnPassive.
Good morning, good afternoon, good evening. Today is May 16th, 2022. Welcome to the Julie and Milo show. My name is Julie. I'm coming to you from Orange County, California. My dear friend Milo. Milo, if you could please say hello to all our friends.
Hey, how you guys doing? It's Milo from Nashville, Tennessee.
Hello, Milo. Thank you so much for doing this with me, Milo. It's been over a year and a half. We started the Julie and Milo show to literally connecting all our friends and founders around the world. And for that reason, we are be able to know so many people around the world. You know, we could not be able to start it without OnPassive. OnPassive is something that connecting all of us together around the world. And we are so grateful to have OnPassive in our life. And thank you to Mr. Ash Muffar. Therefore, friends, we're asking you, if you're currently watching this video, please make sure you write hashtag thank you OnPassive, hashtag thank you Ash Muffar. And that's what we wanted to do, to dedicate and to appreciate what Mr. Ash and his entire family is giving OnPassive to the world. Milo, today we have our dear friend who comes to the Julie and Milo show every single week, and we're looking forward to get to know him. So without further ado, Milo, if you could please introduce our friend.
Absolutely. Thank you, Julie. He's been on the shows many times and all around the webinars. And it's none other, folks, than Mr. Alan G. Come on out, Alan. So good to have you on the show today, Alan. Thanks for coming to the show.
Hello, Alan. So good to have you. Thank you so much for spending time with us.
You're welcome. I'm happy to be here. Hi, everybody. Hi.
Awesome. So, Alan, we love to get to know the founders a little bit better. And so today, this is what we're going to do. So we'd like to know, where did Alan G., where did it all start for you? How about your mom, your dad, your siblings, your family now?
I was born in the Free State in a town called Bloemfontein, which is in the central South Africa. Moved around every 3 to 5 years and eventually ended up in Cape Town, where I've been now for the last over 50 years. I've got a sister that's living in Johannesburg, and both my parents have died a long time ago. Anything else you want to know what I'm doing work-wise? I'm still working.
How about your family now? Do you have a wife, children?
No, my wife passed away 10 years ago. I've got 2 children. One lives in Cape Town, one lives in London. I've got a grandson of 18 who's just started college, and I've got a granddaughter of 13 in London.
Wow, that is pretty awesome. Alan, I noticed in your bio that you started your early life making candy. That is so sweet. Can you tell us a little bit about that?
Okay, I started off in what we call a sweet factory here. We call it a candy factory. And I was actually a candy maker. I actually made this work hands-on, making the different types of candy, working in all the departments. I started off with what they call the starch department. They do like the jubes and the marshmallows and this type of thing. And then I moved to the toffee department. And then I moved to the chocolate department, where I used to make chocolate. And it was actually very, very interesting. I worked did that for 3 years. And then I moved up to Johannesburg, where I went into the printing industry and became a compositor. I don't know if you know what a compositor is. I don't have them anymore today. He does the layout of the print using hot metal, the old type printing. We had the metal letters. I do the layout of the pages and this type of thing. Okay, and then I moved to Cape Town, where I joined a family business for about 20 years, and that eventually folded. And then I was in the flea market for about 6 or 7 years, selling various products and ended up selling sunglasses for a while. And then at the moment, what I'm doing now, I've been driving and helping senior citizens older than myself, taking them to appointments and doing their shopping. I've been doing that since 2007.
Awesome, man. It sounds like you've done a lot. I love the part about Miss Daisy. I was going to ask you that question, so I'm thankful you brought it up. So let's move forward a little bit. You also do photography work. So tell us a little about your photography work. I believe you like sunrises and sunsets.
Okay, I'll say about 500 meters from the seafront. So actually I do a lot of walking and take sunsets mainly at the moment. But in my earlier years, I started photography at the age of 10 with black and white and had my own darkroom. And it must be about 50 years ago, I started a business with my brother-in-law. We used to sell photographs of ships. He was a clean ship photographer and he used to take photographs of ships. And we used to take orders for photographs of ships and ship them all over the world. I've always been involved with, in that type of thing, but now with the digital cameras, all you need is a phone and you can take beautiful photographs.
Well, so you're my kind of guy. You love sunset and sunrise and you love to take pictures of them, because that's what I do every day. At the end of the day, when I have some time, I just go out there to the beach and taking pictures.
I'll send you some that I took recently last week. I'll send you one or two of those, my sunsets that I've taken.
I would love to have them. I would love to have them. So, Alan, let's go into the topic. It is the reason why all of us are here, connecting with each other. It's OnPassive. So please tell us, when did you join OnPassive? How did you hear about it? And how has it been for you?
I joined in July, 12th of July, 2020. I was on a call to a friend of mine from another online business I was with, and we had a chat for about an hour. And he mentioned OnPassive, and it clicked with me immediately. He sent me one of Jeffrey Warlock's videos, and something resonated with me. I don't know what it was. I couldn't tell you what it was, but I thought this is something that, and he had just joined himself, and I must have bugged him for about 3 days before I got the link from him. And I signed up, and I started buying for my sister and my 2 children. I bought, and I've gifted quite a few positions away as well. So, and that's my story so far. As I say, hopefully I'll have to pay some of the activation fees once it gets going. 3 or 4, more likely 5 or 6 I'll have to pay, but some of them will pay themselves.
So you have been in OnPassive since 2020, July 2020.
Yes.
I'm very sure that at this point, you know so much more than when you joined. Tell us a little bit about you. What is OnPassive in your own words?
OnPassive to me is an amazing opportunity, especially for somebody like me who's at the moment I'm 77 and I'm still having to work to pay my bills. So give me an opportunity to be able to stop working and to travel. I had my car stolen last year in July, and I haven't been able to buy another car. So hopefully I'll be able to buy a new car once the Apple starts arriving. I say I've enjoyed it. I find I've learned a lot by watching the video, the webinars I'm on, which I'm quite often. I work basically mornings only, so I've got the afternoons and the evenings. Actually, I catch up on the webinars that I missed. Like 2 or 3 o'clock in the morning for me here. So I watch the replays. And as I say, I've learned a lot. OnPassive to me is a different way of life. It's a means to help your fellow man, as I say, in various ways. I've helped so far by gifting positions to other people already. So that's what I've been doing so far.
That's amazing. That's amazing. In the last webinar with our CEO, he had mentioned about OnPassive is paving the way. OnPassive will reshape the planet. What was your feeling at that time, your thought at that time when you hear what he said?
Look, the way I understand it, the products that we have at the moment are unbelievable, the digital products. But the physical products that they are bringing out, I think that's where he's going to change the world. Because he's very much into energy, and I think that is one of the things that is going to help change the world. On one of the Bless talking about this company they came across that has the stores that purify water, and also the generator that runs on magnetic power, so it doesn't need any electricity, fuel, or batteries. I think that is what he's working on. I think on a bigger scale than what they've got, because they've got small generators you can use for your home up to a big apartment block type of thing. But I think if he's doing what he's doing, I think he's going to be able to run a country on it. So this is why I think it's going to definitely change the shape of the world.
Absolutely. You know, I do believe that OnPassive will change the world. In fact, you know, I love the Ash quote, and we talk about it a lot of times on the show. You know, he said, I might not be able to change the whole world, but I can change somebody's world. And then I come out with the quote, OnPassive, changing the world one person at a time, starting with Ash Mafaro. And when you put all that together, we're going to be able to change the world. We're going to be able to bless a lot of people. So we want to go into that part of it right now. So, and I know you mentioned a little bit of it, but tell us, what are you going to do with your apples? You know, Ash said when it first starts, you know, let's take care of ourselves. And, you know, and there's no doubt that when we all first came in, it was all about what is it going to do for us? How's it going to help us? But then we get the bigger picture, where it's more about, it's not about us, it's about humanity. How are we going to be able to bless others? So this is a two-part question. Number one, tell us, what is it going to do for Alan and his immediate family right now, you know, before, you know, with your apples? What do you want to do with it? And then second thing, then where are you going to go with it? Who are you going to give to? You got plans? Kind of like to know some of that.
Thanks, Mara. It's a very good question. Well, for myself at the moment, I'm staying in a what they call a studio apartment. We call it a bachelor apartment, like a one-room apartment. I'd love to be able to get a bigger apartment for myself, and a reasonable and a nice car. I don't know how long it's going to take before I can get the apartment, but the car should be hopefully by the end of the year, for Christmas. You know, get it done for about 3 or 4 months before I go and buy a car, just to have some extra reserve funds in case I don't, you know, so to make sure everything's running smoothly. And I'd also like to travel. I'd love to go on like cruise ships, go cruising around the world, going to various parts, and visit family and friends all over the world. I've got family in America I haven't seen for many, many years. I've got friends in Australia and family there that I've never I haven't seen for 50 years, 60 years, family, cousins. So I'd love to be able to travel. When it comes to helping others, we have quite a lot with the COVID, created a very big problem here with poverty. There are lots of families that are used to have houses now living in like a little tent town here in the suburb where I am, opposite the police station, and those are the people I'm going to go to first and say, what is your problem? How can I help you? Give them money for food, possibly help them find some accommodation, or even pay for the accommodation for a year to help them get on their feet. That type of thing. That's what I'm going to start doing. There are other various projects, organizations. We have what they call the National Sea Rescue Organization. I'm going to possibly create a spot for them, buy a spot for them. I made a list of about 200 odd people who are friends that I'd like to help with a reseller spot, gifted to them. So this is where it's going. It's not going to, I'm not going to, as I say, at the moment, I'm sitting with 4 positions for myself. So with that, I should be able to bless a lot of people.
Absolutely. That's the beautiful thing about this OnPassive Alan, that I love about it is the humanitarian part. Just like you said, you've got 4 positions, and you'll be able to grow those positions when the money or the apples come into that position, and you share with someone else. It starts a whole nother thing going, and it will just keep building and building, and if you can imagine, Ash started out with just himself. And then all of a sudden it was another one, and now we have 1,300,000 roughly. What's going to happen when all of those people start bringing in people with resellers and stuff and gifting? You can see how big this thing is going to grow, and that I love that, about this.
Actually, I was speaking to my sister, my daughter over the weekend, and she couldn't get it that we're going to earn money for doing nothing. That's what she couldn't get through her head. How are you going to earn money? I said, I'm going to sell. Who's going to sell? Are you going to sell? No, I said, the company's going to sell. No, it can't be. She couldn't wrap her head around that the AI is going to actually do the selling for us. She couldn't fathom it out. She couldn't believe it, didn't think it was possible.
Well, it's hard to believe, Alan, because it's never been done before. But when you wrap your head around it and you realize that it is true that, these computers and AI is going to bring people to the sales funnel, drop them in. Everyone's going to want the product. We're talking about energy, we're talking about batteries, we're talking about all kinds of things that are being worked on right now in these innovation labs and stuff. And it's an incredible thing. And when you think it's self-funding, and just when you think you've got your head wrapped around it, it's like, boom, something else happens. And like Julie will sometimes say, the light bulb movement comes on, or moment, and it just becomes so much bigger, and so we wonder, Ash will say a lot of times, he said, man, you only know a tenth, 1/10.
I don't think we even know a tenth. I think we know less than 5% of what's going on. That's for me. I think we know less than 5%. So yeah. I say it's because what's underneath the water there, what's not unknown, is enormous. It's mind-blowing.
You're exactly right. It's like we're looking at an iceberg and we're just seeing what's above the surface, but it is so much bigger below the surface, what we don't know,
Yeah.
And it's just an amazing thing where we're at in this and where we're going. You know what I'm saying? We just continue to evolve, continue to hear new things, and it is hard for a new person to wrap their head about, this has never been done before. Why would someone do the work for me and give me the money? Well, hey, you know what? It's the way the system works, is it actually does the selling for you. You don't have to do anything. So it's a great system.
Absolutely.
I love our conversation here, Alan and Milo, because as we continue to talk about the blessings of OnPassive, we can see that it's going to eradicate, first of all, poverty. To me, I imagine of the world that is so freedom, like freedom for everyone's that don't have to worry about how they are going to live. They don't have to worry about this and that. All they got to do is sharing the kindness and goodness around the world. And I know, Alan, like many of us, we do share OnPassive with others, but there are people that don't want to be part of it. And there are people actually things that we are crazy. So let me ask you, what are your word of wisdom to these people?
Look, for the $97 or $100, roughly $100, it's worthwhile taking a chance. You've got nothing to lose. Your money is refundable. If you don't like it, come in, have a look, and explore, and see what possibilities there are for you and your future, of your family, and whoever you want to bless. So for me, it's been a godsend in that it's given me a chance to dream again. That I don't have to work until the day I die. This is, for me, that is a big, big thing. So as I say, for me, it's come have a look, take a chance, and as I say, there's no risk because your money is 100% refundable. At least the 97 part of it, the $5 processing fee doesn't get refunded. But even so, it's one of the best decisions you'll ever make.
Absolutely. It's so true. And I love your heart. I love your passion. I love that the story about driving Miss Daisy around. You know, there's something to helping the elderly people that I just love. I just love that, you know, and I'm glad to hear your story on it, you know, but I haven't told this in a long time, but on the show, I would sometimes say, or how many oranges can an orange seed produce? And, you know, the truth is, when you think about that, who knows? I mean, there is no number. It's an infinite number because you plant the seed, and it grows a orange tree, which has many oranges on it. And every one of those oranges has many seeds. So then you can take those seeds and plant them again. And then pretty soon you got an orange grove, you know, and this is kind of the way it is with OnPassive and the way you were talking, you know, you're going to take some, you're going to bless some. And then when those people get it and they start blessing, isn't this an incredible deal?
Yeah, it is. It is. It's absolutely unbelievable. You help one person and let them bless somebody else once they got themselves sorted, and let them pay it forward with to somebody else. That's the way to do it.
Absolutely. And when Julie said, you know, that it will change the world, you know, poverty, hunger, you know, people living on the streets, none of that has to happen now.
No,
You know,
it doesn't. It shouldn't be. They have this World Economic Forum every year. They've been having for I don't know, the last 20 odd years. And it's supposed to eradicate poverty, but the government is no will from the governments to do it.
Right.
I once saw a headline, I'm not sure where I saw it, but it said they must keep Africa poor at all costs.
Yes, you know, and I believe it is all started with, you know, with every individuals, whether or not they're at the government level or the citizens, is to make the decisions to start doing it. And I think that's a problem in this world. There are so many, you know, poverty. There's so much poverty around the world, but yet there are so little of the amount of people that make decisions to do it. And
Yeah.
so I'm so blessed that OnPassive is giving us that ability to do it. And I believe every single one of us will be doing it as soon as our apples start coming. And it's not about having that apple in our hands and do it. It's about now. It's about line up your heart, your mind, and plan it now. And that's what I see it. So thank you so much, Alan, for being here with us and tell us your story. Any last words, Milo or Alan?
I would just like to say thanks, Alan, for coming and sharing your passion, sharing your heart, and we are in it to win it, and it's going to be a big thing for us. You know, I'm just so excited. I know we all have problems sleeping at night almost sometimes because of all the excitement and what's going to happen. But thank you so much for coming on to the show and sharing your views. Do you have any last words?
Not really. I just had to say that been happy it's a pleasure being here and speaking to you. And I hope to see you on the next JulieandMiloShow show.
Absolutely. Thank you so much, Alan, for being here with us. Everyone, we have Alan G in our, you know, in the Julie and Milo show today. It's so nice to speak with him. Very sweet gentleman. He started with making candy and now he's driving Miss Daisy around just to help them out. I mean, that's the type of people that we have in OnPassive, very kind everyone's as normal people around the world, but we all connected together because of OnPassive. So we do hope that you are making a decision to be part of OnPassive to make the most impact in the world. And so if you decide to do it, please get back with the person who share OnPassive with you and say, I'd like to be part of that moment. You know, that will help you. Not only will make your life so much better, but it's also help you to have that ability to help other people around the world as well. Thank you so much for watching the Julie and Milo show. We do hope that you have a fantastic day, and please stay blessed. Good night from Orange County, California.
Good night from Cape Town, South Africa.
Good night from Nashville.
The stories and how they tell when they joined and how they're doing so well, telling us what it's all about today and how they are loving that own passive way. On passive, here today on passive, no better way. Listen to the Julie and the Milo show, so then you can be the very first to know. On passive, it's here today. Julie and Milo show is coming your way on passive.